Good morning. Artist Journal, August 28th, 2022, Berlin. My name is Adrian Pocobelli, artist reporter on the scene once again. Amazed and delighted with the response of yesterday's video, but I'm not surprised, actually. Rat Cloaksy, I'm just not surprised that people enjoy someone talking about his work. It's almost overwhelming. I wouldn't call it an overwhelming response, but it was a very nice response I got there. Continuing to get it, so appreciate that. And so we continue here. Let's get to it. Let's keep it short, because I think there's value in keeping these things short. Really today, it is actually... First of all, I would have looked at Morlaco's work, who I'm a huge fan of anyway, but I also want to give a tribute to those people that are kind of doing nice things. Like, we're going to come back to Morlacos in a second here, who I just find he's, again, just one of these kind of unique kind of talents. Let's just go. I mean, just to show you guys, I mean, probably most of you guys saw this, the people that watch this channel. I mean, hilarious, right? This is by Menta. And, screenshots are close to my heart. I mean, I used to call myself basically a screenshot artist. I was telling Minta's like, don't feel you need to mention this or anything. And I was like, well, I'm not going to mention this because this is probably the first time I've ever actually had my portrait done. I think. Maybe I should be doing my portrait as an artist. I should be kind of doing self-portraits, but it's just never really been a huge priority for me. But so this is pretty funny of the myth video, and my favorite part is the subscribe. So anyway, thank you, Menta. A few hearts there. Thank you, Menta. And it's just fantastic. And yeah, I mean, I'll just go back because I was telling Menta. So I brought up some old screenshots. These are on my website, but you can't even find these on my website. They're on the hidden pages of my website. And I think it is kind of worth bringing up. And I mean, it's kind of hilarious. So you see, I mean, these are old Twitter screenshots. These are oil on canvas. Game of War. Actually, a funny story on this one. The CEO of Game of War actually messaged me, emailed me, and he was interested in the piece of buying this. Like, he just kind of cold called. Like, someone showed this to me on Twitter, different version. And I think I made the price too low. I was like, I don't know. I was sort of like $800, and I never heard back. So either he lost interest, or maybe it was too low for a CEO of some gaming company. Just these are the real life stories of artists. Like, I mean, you got to be not only do you have to be a master of your craft or brilliant or whatever the case may be, you also have to be a salesperson. You got to have your website updated. Mine's not updated. I mean, it's July 28th. I go, okay, good enough. I mean, I kind of need a new website. I was looking at it. I wasn't happy with it. So anyways, annual air crash fatalities. We have a Ballard influence. Okay, remember we were talking about J.G. Ballard? So anyways, I don't want to go too far in this. But just to say, the screenshots are let me see if we can fix this, are a part of my work. So my screen is back, and yeah, you see more. I even had the Tinder one, which is hilarious. So I think Mint is on the right track here. This was a diptych. I don't want to go too far into my work, but just to show you, and here's actually the Peloponnesian War. So you see these kind of ideas were percolating in different forms. This is a different kind of take on the screenshots. I actually sent this one to the reporter, Katya Kazakina, and she loved it. Actually, well, why not? If someone's doing a screenshot of your story. She's actually a famous arts reporter. She worked for the New York Times for a bit. Now I think she's with some big art publication. I don't know her or anything. I mean, that's probably the last contact. I like her posts once in a while on Instagram. So Morlacos also says some nice things, but that's not why we're talking about him. I was going to talk about him anyways. I assume Morlacos is a dude. We'll just call him Morlacos. This piece always sort of really excited me. I mean, I saw Cimabue, what I used to call Cimabue, but it's actually by Berlingiro, circa 1230. We can actually do a quick search on that. You know what's kind of funny? I never noticed the knife here. I never noticed the knife until today. So that's kind of funny. I just liked a kind of original rendition of like a modern rendition of the Madonna and Child. I guess that's just how much I like. That's how much I like Italian painting. Let's see if we can. Oh yeah, here we go. Berlingiro at the MAT, the Metropolitan Museum of Art. Let's do this. So yeah, pretty cool. And then we'll go back to this. So a nice original rendition. I love Morlacco's style. Let's look. He has this other one, which is classic for him. Only for 4 Tezos, I might add. And that was part of a new series he had. And this was a classic. I mean, I had to buy this. I think I paid like 20 for that or something. I paid 18. It's 10 now. So again, like these are classic to me. These are classic Tezos works. And yeah, well, let's go to one more that I remember. Oh yeah, he's got a couple. I mean, one he has the myth in. I mean, this is an amazing one, the Red Knight. I love these ones, you know, and I was just imagining to myself these on the gallery wall, my gallery in my head, because I'm still not sure how these will actually all be shown. Go to one more here. Yeah, this one has to be shown. I mean, you can get this for 17 still. Edition of 25. Would I pay 16? So I think Rada had a couple of copies. It's always nice. Another little tip here is to go in here and to see if a lot of people have, you know, if someone has like 7, it kind of screws up the market a little bit. For me, it becomes slightly less appealing if you see there's someone with 7 because you feel you're going to buy it and someone will just put it back on the market. And, you know, like in the sense, like it's about the art, but it's nice to feel like your investment is going to go well if you're spending $100 or 30 or even $30 on a piece of art. You kind of don't want to feel like it's a good investment too. I mean, that's part of the art business as a collector. So I sometimes look at the owners and I sometimes look like, is there someone that owns 10 of these? And that will make it slightly less desirable. But what an awesome work here. Again, the myth. I mean, you see the myth. I mean, someone was calling him like the spiritual, not the avatar. I mean, that's an overstatement, but the spiritual kind of, he had a great word for it. I can't remember it at the top of my head, but kind of like, let's just call it inspiration, for lack of better words, for a lot of people. And he's on the astral plane or something to that effect. Someone wrote a really nice message about that. So here's the myth again. And this is important. This is part of what makes Tezos awesome too, is you see there's almost like this mythology that's growing up, speaking of myth, around the whole ecosystem. Like you see, like there's a rat cloaksy with the myth. You see these celebrations. Yeah, and here you see Thanksmith. Okay, so you see, like, again, especially for those people that are in the ecosystem, particularly those people who've been in it longer than I have, this is not news. But there are a lot of people probably that are watching this, perhaps, or a few people, who are kind of cluing in and being like, oh, and that's kind of what makes Tezos ecosystem as an art ecosystem special, is you do start to see these kind of hat tips. And maybe this brings it back to art history. Because what you see is, say, like, I can't remember the exact works, but often what you'll see, say, in modernist art, for example, or in the history of art, is artists will respond to other artists. So there's a piece, I think it was Duchamp made a piece, and I remember one book talking about how Max Ernst had made a response to Duchamp's piece. I think it was to the glass or something. I don't know what Ernst's response was to that. I think it was like a 1950s Ernst work. which, I mean, Ernst in the 50s. I want to keep these short for you guys. Let's just see if we can quickly see. Yeah, I don't think we'll find what I'm looking for here. Yeah, Ernst's work in the 50s is actually quite interesting. Always interesting, Max Ernst, always evolving, a fantastic painter. Anyways, that's not the point here, Max Ernst. The point is this idea of there being responses to the idea of making a response to another artist. You see that on Tezos to a certain degree, or even referencing this kind of narrative that kind of forms. And it's like, because what is Smith doing here? So anyways, I want to touch on that. And very quickly, Louis Osborne again had a drop. And I just wanted to show you like the update. I mean, in a sense, this does become like a kind of with the latest, the news here. Let's just actually quickly look at his activity. Nice activity, nothing too crazy, but this is the thing. Okay, there is some pretty wild stuff here. Balloon 4 launched yesterday, and you see, and he put out a tweet. Let's just go to Louis. Sorry, I hide this. Louis Osborne. He put out a tweet, which was kind of interesting. It sounded like the sale went kind of crazy. Thank you all. Here it is. Thank you all so much for your offers. That was pure chaos. I couldn't accept offers as people were canceling them while I was accepting, so they failed. I used the history tab and accepted the top 9 offers that came up to 16 o'clock. Anything after that time did not count. So, and then you look at the offers, and then we'll wrap it up on that. So let's go to the work. Interesting work. One of his balloons, edition of 10. Buy for 121. Let's look at the history. The last sale was for 130 to Scooney. So it's getting serious over here with Louis Osborne. It continues to be serious. The longer this goes on for, the less of a flash in the pan this looks like, the more kind of like this looks solid, and it's not just like a crypto pump and dump, so to speak. And you look at the offers that were accepted: 100, 88, 75, 75, 71, 70, and the lowest was 68. And then reselling for 130. So just a quick update on Louis Osborne's scene here, because it's pretty kind of, again, this is our case study of what I think we can come to expect further down the road here with other artists. So back to this idea of, are you going to spend 70 Tezos and like be right beside your computer to get the latest of your artists that you're buying now for 3 Tezos? Because it's back to this idea of kind of buy while you can and create a collection while you can, because there is a possibility here that a lot of us get priced out really quickly, because, all of a sudden you have to reconfigure and reimagine what this all means if you have to pay 120 Tezos versus 2. 2, I don't think twice. It's like, cool, it's a cool work. I'll give you $3. So anyway, so that is the latest. We're going to keep it short and sweet here today. Thank you for joining us once again. Until next episode, take care.